Hi, I'm Rachel Abbasi. Welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. As always, thanks for spending time with me. Hello and happy Friday. Today, I'd like to talk about, I'm smiling because I'm like, I don't even know how to frame this. And I already tried once and I had to stop and re-record. So we'll see. Um, so a topic came up this week for me, and that is like when something is wrong and we like share it with somebody and then we say, but it's okay. You know what I know you know what I mean, but it's all right. Like, you're saying, well, this is happening and I feel really sad about it, but I mean, it's okay. And it's not okay. It's not okay. And I was talking with somebody about like, why do we say that? Why do we say, but it's okay? And I think it's because I'm trying to reassure the person that I'm talking to after I explain how I'm feeling bad. I'm protecting their feelings because I want them to know that okay, I may be sad, but I can handle it. I'm not going to go jump off of a cliff, you know? Um, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I wanted to talk about it in relation to a scenario that I'm dealing with right now. And I'm hesitant to share about it because it's family oriented, but I don't feel that I'm talking negative about anybody in my family. I feel like I'm just sharing about my very complex emotions that I'm experiencing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and record it, and we'll see how it comes out. But so what's going on is that somebody in my family just got a beautiful vacation home. So everybody's going to the vacation home and together. And I am unable to go. I'm making the decision for my well-being not to go. If I were to try to travel to this vacation home, I would likely be in bed or miserable the entire time. So, um, I I have this battle, first of all, between my ears that is like, okay, I can go. Because when I say I can't go, well, I can go, but I would be miserable if I went. So I end up like translating that to say I can't go. So I'm trying to frame it like what's really happening, which is I can go, but I'm choosing my well-being over going there to be seen. I mean, of course, I want to be with them, but I want to be with them when I feel good, and that scenario is not going to work for me. So, um, I have a lot of complex emotions about it, as you can imagine. I mean, even my sister reached out to me and she was like, that she feels sad that I'm not going. And I know that everybody in my family not is sad that I'm not going. But they understand. So that side of it, my relationship with all of them, the support and everything, it's there. Like everyone is loving and supportive. And so that's not in question. Regardless of all of that, I still need to reflect and process the emotions that I'm feeling that are solely based on I have this disability that is getting in the way of things that I want to do. So, um, I brought this up to my psychiatrist this week because a lot of times when I see my psychiatrist, it's virtual. A lot of times when I talk to her, I come to the table with, I mean, you know me. I feel good. I'm working on my projects. I have these different hobbies that I'm doing. I took Boris out to go play in his baby pool. I took Autumn down to the lake. And I'm talking about all of this good stuff. And I didn't hire her to listen to the good stuff, you know? But it's my tendency to talk about the good stuff because who wants to talk about the bad stuff? Um, so I came prepared this week to talk to her about something that I was struggling with. So on the outside, I'm typically smiling, and I'm saying it's okay. But I know that I've got this sadness on the inside that I'm not expressing. I did tell my sister when she said to me that she was sad that I wasn't going to go. You can tell that I'm like trying to force myself to not say I can't go, but saying I chose not to go. Um, so when my sister said she was sad that I wasn't going, I said back to her that it's okay, but I don't want to say it's okay because it doesn't feel okay yet. It doesn't feel okay. I did say to her, I will probably cry while you guys are there, especially if you call me. I'm going to feel like an incredible amount of sadness. Um, and what I haven't been doing is talking about it. Like, I feel that I need to prepare for this moment, not moment, week, while they are all together and I'm not with them. Um, so what I tend to do is acknowledge that something is wrong, that I feel sad, like I'm generalizing it, like I feel sad that I'm not going. And then I'll say, but I really should be grateful for what I still have, you know? Um, and if I feel grateful, I shouldn't be sad. But those emotions, as I was talking to my psychiatrist, those emotions don't cancel each other out. Like I can feel both grateful and sad at the same time. So I've got this huge emotional undercurrent and undertow, whatever you call it. And I feel like it has the potential of dragging me under if I don't do something about it or talk about it. So I got brave and I wrote it down in preparation to talk to my psychiatrist about it. And I do feel like that's a courageous thing to do, to actually talk about the stuff. And it's even more difficult to bring it up and talk about it when I'm not even quite sure what the emotions are that I'm feeling. All I kept saying was that I was sad. So when I brought it up to the psychiatrist, she helped me remember that I have this emotion and feeling wheel that I've talked about recently in a previous episode. So, so we got out emotion and feeling wheel, and we went through what are all these layered emotions that I'm feeling. So this is what I identified. That sadness, as I've already mentioned. But so just to remind you, there's the color wheel has the primary emotions and then the secondary emotions and the tertiary emotions. So you pick your primary emotion, for example, sad, and then you follow that to the secondary emotion, and there's many options. So what I chose from the secondary options of sadness were disappointment, and then there's a tertiary emotion that was loneliness and grief. So you see how it kind of expands into really identifying what that is that I'm feeling. I'm disappointed that I can't go, and I'm saying I can't go because I've put that boundary around my health a couple years ago. I still don't like to say though that I can't go. So I'm disappointed that I'm not going. Um, it elicits a sense of loneliness because I want to be around my family, and to choose not to be with them makes me feel alone, lonely. And then I definitely feel grief because I continue to try to process what comparing myself to who I used to be, what I used to be able to do. So there's a bit of grief there too. So, as we continued on with talking about the feeling wheel, I recognized that I do feel anger. And that was hard for me to say because I don't want to feel angry towards my family. And I realized I'm not angry towards my family, but I can still feel anger. I'm angry at the fact that I have this disability. So the tertiary emotions, and that's what led me down the path of anger, was once I saw the tertiary emotions, the root of them is anger. So that's how I knew that that was one of them. So irritation and frustration. And those I identified are really long-term emotions that I'm dealing with because I have this disability, that I'm constantly irritated and frustrated that I have to change my life and what I get to do based on my limitation, my physical limitations now. So there was also envy, wishing things were different. And then all of that, like recognizing that these are all of the emotions that I feel about them going on vacation without me, I feel, guess what? Guilty. I feel guilty for even feeling this way at all. And I thought that was interesting because what she came back with is the fact that you feel these things doesn't, I don't know how she framed it that was so it really resonated with me. So I'm going to attempt to frame it the way that she did, but it might not come out right. The fact that you feel these emotions does not affect them. There's no reason to feel guilty about your emotions when it doesn't affect them. It's not like I'm acting on them. I'm not reacting to my emotions. I'm simply feeling them. And there is no guilt that should be attached to feeling emotions. So the most difficult, I think, feelings out of all of those, like she said, what would you say are the priority feelings that you feel? And this was really hard for me to say. I feel um, isolation, resentment, and guilt. And the resentment part, so anytime that I start feeling something negative towards my family makes me feel guilty. And I was explaining, I don't want to feel resentment, you know, but I'm human. I'm human. And I said to her, like, they deserve to spend time where they want to spend time. Like, they deserve to go to this new vacation home and explore it. And like, my disability does not inhibit their lives. And she reminded me that it's just human to feel that way because that's where I feel a lot of guilt there. So I think the weight that I feel is really, it's not the situation, it's my own feelings. And I'm judging myself because I feel these human feelings. So there's this, like she said, how would you feel about talking to them about this? And I said, well, I already did. You know, I've already expressed that I want to go. Um, and I think that if I shared about it any more than that, it would blow up into more of a situation than I really want it to. I want these feelings to just be mine, and I don't really want anybody to try to help me. I don't want anybody to say, like, feel sorry for me, you know, that I feel this way. So really what I'm doing is protecting others from my feelings. And what does that do? When I'm protecting others from my feelings, I am isolating myself. So that goes back to isolation even more. So, um, as we named these feelings, she started asking me these open-ended questions, and I was like, I don't have the answer. I don't know. So she was like, what does it give you to be able to give those feelings a name? And I said, well, it's nice to understand like it helps me to understand myself more. You know, that I'm not just sad. I'm not just generally sad. I need to have a sip of my coffee. Please hold. That's good. I've been drinking Americanas, which is nice. I make my own. Um, so I'm not just sad, but I also feel powerless. There's nothing I can do about it, about the fact that I am choosing not to go. I feel powerless. Like, okay, that was not correct. So what do I feel powerless about? I have the choice to go or not to go. I feel powerless about my disability. Um, Jealousy, I do. I feel jealous that they get to go enjoy this beautiful place and I'm choosing not to. And I feel some grief about that. And the the feelings that I'm feeling, I don't need permission to feel them. I also don't need them to be fixed. But naming them and talking about them reduces their power over me. So as I talked to my psychiatrist about all of these feelings, she said, "Well, how do you feel now after talking about it?" And I said, "Honestly, I feel like before we talked about the situation and went through the emotions and feelings wheel, I felt like all the emotions were like chaos in my head that I was debating, that I was like, I don't know if you've ever seen, it's like I think a Saturday Night Live skit where Will Ferrell, and I may be totally wrong, but like Will Ferrell is sitting around a conference room table, and there's like seven different versions of Will Ferrell, and they're all debating something. Well, that's what it's like in my head. And then when I was able to name the emotions, that it's like everything just became nice and orderly in my head so that I could look at each emotion and address it separately. But when I didn't name them, it was just like bucketed under sadness. And I just kept thinking, it shouldn't have to be this way. I shouldn't have to not be with my family. But hey, that's what it is. It is what it is. And I hate that saying. I hate the saying, it is what it is. um, because I think it discounts reality. And I think it prolongs suffering when we discount reality. So even though it is what it is, that doesn't seem to run parallel with like accepting it. It is what it is like, well, there's nothing I can do. But that doesn't mean I don't feel emotions about it. So I still want to talk about how I feel about what it is. And once I'm able to talk about it, then I can work on accepting it. Um, so my feelings don't require anyone else to change. I'm not asking them not to go. I don't want to ask them not to go. But my feelings are still valid, even if no action is taken. I don't need to feel guilty because I'm not doing anything to anyone as a reaction to my emotions. So I think that's where I can let go of feeling guilty. I can actually let go of that one because I'm not actually impacting anyone or hurting anyone. Um, but it's still necessary for me to talk about my feelings with them. That's still up for debate. Maybe they'll listen to this episode and then I won't have to say anything. Okay. So I think this is where emotional maturity is, and this is where freedom is to be able to look at your emotions, recognize that all of these different facets of just feeling that I don't I don't have to expect anything from anyone because I'm feeling something. Um, and then what my psychiatrist also then led me to is, yeah, that's great that I feel like the chaos between my ears is now nice and orderly, but what actually is happening is once I'm able to name them, I can communicate about it. I can talk about it. And what she was celebrating with me is that instead of debating um, whether I'm going to put my well-being first or I'm going to put my family first, I chose my well-being, and that is not normal for me. So, it's a skill that I'm developing over the years, and I started developing that skill when I first got sober. Choosing me, choosing what's best for me. I deserve to feel good. And if going on this vacation doesn't feel good, then I don't have to resist that. Like I can choose not to go and choose my well-being. And I can use the tools that I have in my program in order to process all of these complex emotions that I'm feeling. I can go to support groups, and I wrote down for my next stroke support group that I would love to talk about that. What do you guys do when you can't show up to something? Or in my vestibular support group, what do you do when you have all these feelings like when you choose to not go to something? What does that feel like and how do you handle it? And by acknowledging the feelings and stuff, I'm also acknowledging the part of the circumstance that I can control. And that is just my response. That's all I can control. There are opportunities in this upcoming week, whenever it is. I don't even know when it is, but um, where I can still choose a creative way of connecting with my family while they are there. One way is when they're all sitting out on their back deck overlooking the lake. Why don't I go over to my lake and sit and we can get on a FaceTime call? Just because I'm physically absent doesn't mean that I need to be emotionally disconnected from them. So inclusion can look really different. And so that's what I plan to do. And I really liked that she brought that up to me. Um, then when I'm looking at, so just to circle back to where we started with, um, tending to say when I've got all these complex emotions, oh, but it's okay. Just a subtle shift might help. Instead of saying, um, it's okay, the situation may not be okay, but I'm still standing. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I am okay. Having these difficult feelings doesn't mean that I'm not okay. Um, and maybe this time for the vacation, I can do this creative connection, and that will be enough for this season of my life. There's going to be a lot of moments ahead, and where there's going to be this kind of stuff where I've got to make decisions to support my well-being. And instead of thinking like, why is this happening to me? I can figure out creative ways to connect. So this is just the first one. That's what I recognized at the end of my conversation with her was this is just the first time. And um, and I'm okay. Um, I'm going to process it, and I'm going to allow these feelings to travel through me like waves, and I'm okay. Like I can feel happy and grief at the same time. I can feel love for my family and loneliness that I'm not with them at the same time. Um, I can't always choose my circumstances, but in this situation, I am choosing. I am choosing what is best for me. And that is so important for me to celebrate. Um, I love my family. I'm so fortunate to have this incredible family. Um, I thought everybody's family was incredible, like mine, and it turns out they're not. Not always. So I am filled with a lot of gratitude, and it's it's something to celebrate that I have this family that I want so badly to be with. That love that we share for each other and the support that I've received from them is something to celebrate. And that goes a long way in counteracting a lot of those emotions. Um, I don't I'm not losing anything by not going. Um, I'm actually, what do they say? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm okay. And I wanted to share about it. Um, at the risk of I don't think anything I said upsets my family if they were to listen to this, but I wanted to share about it because it's so normal for somebody with a disability, somebody who's lived through a stroke, somebody who has chronic pain, a vestibular disorder, which restricts you physically. I think it is so important to talk about the feelings that go with that. So that's why I recorded today. If you are listening, family, I love you and you know that. And that's it. That's all I've got. So thanks for listening today, and I will talk to you next time.